Today we're going to talk about life days. And this is where we can start to switch the mindset from life is derailing me from my plan to life is a part of my plan. Because that's the reality of it. Things are going to come up. We're going to have social events on our calendars, and there are ways that we can navigate them without feeling like we have to start over every time they pop up. And the biggest tool for this is going to be a consistency calendar. So I am going to encourage you truly to print out or have a calendar on your fridge, or if you're really good with your phone, you can put it in your phone. But it is going to be putting special notations on the days that you are going to have meals that are not going to be within your control, and or you want to be able to be more present at and enjoy. So for me, for the month of August, there are only 3 things on my plate that would be meals that I am eating outside of the home, that I am going to be making different choices around. In all of reality, if there are only 3 meals out like that, you're going to be able to succeed whatever your current goal is, whether that be maintenance, maintaining, or if you are in a calorie deficit. 3 meals, no biggie whatsoever. But it's when we use those days as excuses to not control our other meals, or to not do things like get our movement in, or we take that one night out and we let it leak into other days of our week, that it can start to derail us from our progress. But again, this is to switch that mindset of like, I can enjoy this moment and then move back to my plan at the very next meal or the very next day. Other thing to keep in mind is if our calendar is a lot more full than this, we are going to have to do the hard thing of saying yes or no to certain things. So I'm just going to walk you through my calendar here real quick. I have in the same week here, and if I am in a calorie deficit, I have a work dinner that I have to attend, and I have a date night that my husband and I have planned, and we have babysitter coverage for. So of these 2 things, what I would likely do is the date night, that one's more important to me. So I am going to be a lot more aloof with what I choose to order off of the menu, and not necessarily have it be something that is going to be spot on within my goals. I'm still going to do things like plan my other meals around it to be full of protein, good fibrous vegetables. I might skimp a little on some of the fattier or carb heavy things that I normally have in those meals, but for the most part, I'm going to keep those meals consistent to what I would do on any other day that fits within my goals. And at dinner, I'm going to order what sounds good and focus on being present with my husband and enjoying the food in front of me and stopping when I feel full. Now, this work dinner, on the other hand, I know that I'm going to have the choice to order what I want. So I am likely going to look ahead at the menu, and I'm going to pick something that is more in line with my goals that I can guesstimate in my tracker and make a choice that fits my goals, but still be able to enjoy the night out with my coworkers. I'm also not going to order an alcoholic beverage that night, and I'm going to pass on dessert, most likely, to stay within my calorie deficit. Then again, I have a wedding at the end of the month. Zero control over what I'm going to have there. The only thing that I have control over is the amount of alcohol I do or don't consume. I don't really like to drink anyways. I know that my calorie deficit is really important to me, so I'm probably not going to drink at this wedding, and I'm going to accept whatever the meal is and move on with my life. And again, control my other meals around it. I'm not going to starve myself to save room for extra wedding cake, whatever it may be. I am just going to make sure that I don't go into it hangry, and I'm going to enjoy whatever is presented to me. And yes, probably have a slice of wedding cake because duh. And move on the very next day. That Sunday, I'm going to go ahead and go back right into my normal plan. So in this instance, there is days that I am making choices on because in the same week, I have meals out, and I want to make sure that I am consistent with my calorie deficit. But I'm also not saying that there aren't days where I'm not going to put my calorie deficit at the very top of my list. Again, if you have a much more filled schedule than this, you're going to be having choices like this a lot more frequently. And in a calorie deficit, I'm going to tell you that 2 or 3 days where you just like fully aren't tracking for a meal is probably going to be the top range of what you want to be doing in order for your calorie deficit to be most effective. Now, if you have more than that and it really is like you just have a a month filled with like really important life events. That does happen. You're just going to have to understand that that month is not going to be your biggest progress making month. And the next month, we are going to want to be a little bit more strategic around what we are saying yes or no to. So that is just the reality of calorie deficit. When it comes to maintenance, there is a little bit more flexibility, but still, in these same instances, even being in maintenance, in this week where I have 2 things out, I would probably choose to make the same choices just because it's going to make me feel my best that week. So again, maintenance is not this free-for-all. We get to say yes to everything. There still does need to be conscious choices around some of the things that we're making. But I would highly encourage you, and honestly, it will likely be a part of your homework at some point when working with me, to look at a month to 2 months of what do your social calendars really look like. Is that conducive for the goals that you have in mind? And what sort of choices are you going to have to make in order to get through whatever phase you're in most effectively? So that is Life Days. Let me know if you have any questions on that. And I would, if you haven't already, let's take a look at the next 4 weeks or month to see what's all on our plate.